Hey everybody, welcome to the Fractured Focus reaction for Transformers The Last Night. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Gordon, alongside the illustrious, my brother, the Dan Gordon.
Hello.
And coming in live from the metropolis of Omaha, Nebraska, the fine swine himself, Matt Swinehart. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
You ready to Transformers it up? You ready to transform and roll out?
I might even be in disguise.
The shirt or... Okay, fine, whatever. We'll let Sleeping Dog fly. Let's get right into it. Huge Transformer fan, basically all three of us. We've been into Transformers since G1. Hell, we even joked about it all the time in college. We even buy toys, even while we were still in college. Remember when we used to have one of our friends' spouses, Denise, and she'd take one of the toys to make fun of us and be like, blah, 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 whatever. And me and Jason would just look at each other and be like, Optimus wouldn't say that.
That's what it means to be an OG.
Basically.
Yeah.
Bottom line is we're huge Transformer fans. Newest trailer just dropped. I'm kind of excited to have another movie, but I'm kind of not. We've talked about this a little bit before. I love the first Transformers movie. Second one I thought was good, even though it was done with the writer's strike and the story kind of got away from everything. It just kind of got all over the place. I still thought it was cool. Yeah. I still liked it. Optimus was a little bit less out. We'll get into that. Third one I thought was better. I liked the third one. And fourth one I thought was dog shit. I did not like the fourth one myself. We got the new trailer right now. Initial thoughts. What do you guys think?
I think it's a lot more kind of what we've been seeing for the last few movies. I agree. Like the original was probably the closest to what I remember and what I'm familiar with the Transformers universe.
By far.
Yeah, but and it's kind of evolved into this other. I don't know, this aggregation of concepts that honestly I never really thought really fit with the
what do you
Transformers. Mean? Well, I do. I remember like when they started when they alluded to towards the end of the fourth movie when they're looking into almost like the fusion of organisms and cybernetic organisms.
Yeah,
there's a slight allusion to some kind of biological creature that's somehow tied into this mythology.
That shit, they're not even transforming anymore. Now they're just morphing into whatever.
And that could be for just because they want to try a new cool special effect. But again,
you're
right. It deviates from what we know the Transformers to be, which is actually transforming. We're not transmorphers.
Right.
We are Transformers. And from what I see right now, just based on the visuals, is that it kind of falls in that same vein of, it looks like we're kind of rehashing a lot of what we've seen in the last probably 3 movies. Yeah. And story-wise, they didn't really allude to much. The big takeaway on this one is that first off, you get a kick-ass opening monologue from Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, the music was cool too. That got me. Yeah. I was a fan of the way that they did it with the music. No one can fault Michael Bay for his trailers.
Yeah,
or his action. Yeah.
But the fact that it looks like the big sticking point in this movie is going to be essentially a humans versus robots kind of clash, kind of culminating in what we're seeing is an Optimus that either turns on his own kind or is leading the charge against humans. But I'll have another couple details on that. But Matt, what you think? What are your feelings right now?
I like the trailer. I like the action in the trailer. I didn't like everything in the trailer. I don't think you need to bring King Arthur into it. You don't need to bring the Nazis into it in the Second World War. I think that they're overreaching, as they have in the last few movies. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see that Mark Wahlberg's not a pussy in this one.
You didn't think
At least he doesn't look like he's a pussy.
You didn't think he was a pretty good action star in the fourth one when he was up on the ship and everything shooting?
I thought he was a little whiny bitch at the beginning.
What about when he cracked a Bud Light beer off of some guy's car? Because he crashed his spaceship into it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because he's a badass.
He's a badass.
He's a badass drinking a Bud Light. Label out.
That was pretty cool when he's like, shut up or I'll shoot you with my alien gun.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That's how Mark does things.
You know what I find kind of interesting as I think about this? I remember watching Boogie Nights. And remember in Boogie Nights, he has that scene where his character is singing the theme song for the animated movie.
Boy, we had very different reactions to this trailer. Yeah. You immediately go to Boogie Nights?
No, I'm just because of Mark Wahlberg.
That was his first appearance. That's what got him.
No, I want to see where you're going with this. Go ahead.
No, that's all I could think of, though, is him thinking that opening score or the main score from the first Transformers movie where they actually did kill Optimus. And I think that this story is actually going to mirror some of that because
Don't you think they've already done that though in Revenge of the Fallen?
No, but this is what I'm thinking. Unicron, if they actually do bring Hot Rod into it, which we haven't seen, maybe we did see him as a car, but not like that half van, half truck thing.
Yeah.
With flames.
80s style.
That was what, a futuristic Winnebago, Hot Rodimus Prime? Wasn't that what he was supposed to be? There was no windows. There was no description of what the hell was in
sign
that.
of maturity. He goes from being a hot rod to a hot Winnebago.
No one's fault in it.
That's growing up.
It was awesome. You know, when we were kids. Anyway.
The Ranchero.
So, keep going.
No, I guess in regards to it, I mean, I think, again, they're overstretching. I just hope they don't have those stupid characters in it like they did in the third movie.
Like which
I
ones?
thought they got
the little ones?
No, not the little ones. The mouthy robots from the second one I was fine with. Mm-hmm. But once they started bringing in like the samurai and Jeff Goldblum's character, that to me, I was like...
Jeff Goldblum did a character?
Or not Jeff Goldblum.
John,
the guy from Roseanne.
Yeah,
John Goodman.
John Goodman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Once those characters showed up, the movie lost me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the stuff that I've loved that there's stuff that I shouldn't say loved, that I've liked that Michael Bay's done with this, and there's stuff that I'm not happy with, and there's stuff that I can't stand. I agree. The first one I thought recaptured the magic that you felt like this is how the cartoon would be done for those of us that are G1 really fan based. That made that movie special. I've said that numerous times, but that opening scene when they all meet for the first time and they meet Sam was just freaking perfect. That was awesome. That was Optimus. That was, that was the modern version of Bumblebee, like more of a Michael J. Fox than the little Bumblebee.
The bug.
The character that he was in the cartoon. But I like that change. I'm not opposed to change. I don't really like the overall robot designs because, like I've said, it just feels like they're kind of weird skeletal robots where they're about to fall apart, but at least they looked like cars and trucks or what they transformed from. And then I just feel like where it really derailed is, again, I was fine with 2 and 3. 3 I thought was better than 2. What I didn't like is how in the second one, Optimus says, like, give me your face. Like, he would never say that. He was the John. I think one of the biggest things that draw people to Transformers over and over again are a few staples. One of them being Optimus Prime is kind of like the John Wayne character that's always the father figure you look up to that always does the right thing. There might be a few storylines where he gets corrupted from the cartoon or that they might even apply here, which I think would be fascinating because he is that non-corruptible character that becomes corrupted. What I hate that they did in the fourth one, I know it was in the same universe and Michael Bay said he wanted to try doing something different to change up the series. And again, I'm not opposed to change, but this is small. You change the font so it doesn't have the original Transformers font, which just kind of harkens back to the feel. Whatever, that's small. That's not a big deal. He didn't even feel like Optimus at all anymore. He was like, we'll kill them all. He would never say that. Prime would never say something like that.
Pacifist by nature.
Exactly. You know what? He's the leader. He'll fight, but he would never say something like that. Bumblebee turned into a whiny little teenager bitch in the fourth one. Out of nowhere, that was just annoying and dumb. I hate the fact that they use that. Oh, by the way, we can make anything now. And this new legion of Transformers that we're making don't even transform, which is one of the biggest staples that every time they've deviated from that in any incarnation of the Transformers, the fans have flipped out. And the fact that they just and now you're whatever. That's not transforming, shifting, seeing where stuff goes, seeing the parks. It's what Aaron Archer, the head of Hasbro Transformers, has said. That's what the fans like, and I don't understand why they deviated from it. Whatever, that on the side.
And just to kind of plug in, if they really want to see that, there is a very shitty movie on Netflix called Transmorphers.
Yeah.
Not even 1 star.
Can't stand that they did that. I thought it was cool that they were going to throw in the Dinobots. Pumped from the trailer. They were a Bayverse kind of Dinobots, but I don't care. They were huge. They look cool. I saw the way that they were implemented. Nothing but a set piece to look at. No character background, no emotional attachment to them whatsoever, to the point where I'm almost just annoyed. This is just dumb now. And by this fifth one, I do have a little bit more hope for this fifth one for a couple reasons. Number one, it seems like they could do something very interesting with Prime like we just talked about if they corrupt what should be an uncorruptible character, which we have not seen so much in this universe. But that could be really cool. And I hope they go back to more robotic-looking robots and have the transforming back to the way it should be. I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a still frame where it showed a guy walking with the red eyes and the arm cannon hoist on his arm. Megatron. Yep. Oh, please tell me that you're gonna. That right there would give me enough G1 geek out goosebumps to forgive a lot of crap. But one of the biggest things that actually gives me more hope about this is the they formed a Transformer story group that is doing kind of similar what the Star Wars story group led by Pablo Hidalgo and Dave Filoni and all of them are doing, to have a cohesive universe to grab from the mythology and mythologies, I guess I should say, that we've loved from the cartoons, various series, and the comic books, to mesh them into one universe that they can pull from like a Bible. And to my understanding, I believe this is the first movie where they're pulling from that, because nobody can deny that Michael Bay produces great action. Okay, he does. Yeah. He's probably one of the best directors on the planet for motion and cinematography and explosions and action, and nobody denies that. Trailers included. But he's not the storyteller. You know, he's visual eye candy. Mm-hmm. And the first two we had fantastic, and even the first three really, we had great storytellers. I know that Aaron Kruger also wrote the fourth one, but you could tell he did not have the same pull that Bob and Alex had for the first two. And it basically, I think, starts with cool idea first for what I want to see. Now you find a way to incorporate it into the story. Versus the opposite of start with the story first and then see what you can do with effects that tie into it. It's just kind of backwards, that approach. But if this is going to be pulled from the story group, that we're at least going to get somewhat of the same caliber of quality storytelling that we got from, I know the second one sounds weird to say that because it was done during a writer's strike. We actually didn't get a full written out script that Bob and Alex did from the first one. But if we can get something on the lines of that quality from this story group, and they can match at least a semi-decent story, and then there's a bunch of G1 references. We already know there's a bunch like Hot Rod. Mm-hmm. We don't know, but man, that big horn. Yeah. You're thinking Unicron. Yeah. You're thinking Unicron. That would be awesome if they did it. I really want to see
the moon.
Yeah. Oh my God. I really want to see what they're doing with this Optimus Prime arc. This could be cool. I just hope that it's not. I hope the story is enough so that you don't get bored with the effects, because I know that the fourth one, I might be in the minority as far as people spending money, because it made a shitload of money, and a lot of that has to do with them getting into China for the first time, and China's becoming more prevalent as far as these blockbusters go. But if they can knock a story, which I give them more credence to, again, because of the story group, I have more hope for this one than I did with the fourth, I think. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some potential to it, but I won't say but. I'll say go into it with just expectations as far as what we've seen in the movies kind of go so far, which to me actually I think lowers the bar. Mm-hmm. There's really not a lot. We've seen kind of how these movies have morphed. Mm-hmm. into what into what they are now. But so just kind of taking some of the elements, whether it be Unicron, I'm almost interested to see if they're going to start incorporating any kind of dark energon concept. I don't know if
that would be cool.
The reason I bring that up too is because I think that's the last actual full image of Optimus that we get. The first one is him floating in space and essentially reactivating. See his eyes go blue.
Oh, if he was by the dark energon?
You see him just kind of stabbed down right into Bumblebee and Mark Wahlberg, and his eyes are bright purple. So that.
I didn't see that. That would be awesome.
So yeah, I mean that was I loved how they did that with a Transformers Prime, using that element, and and as far as forgiveness goes, that's one of those things that I could kind of geek out about. I can forgive the fact that in the opening sequence I see a 3-headed Transformer dragon flying into King Arthur times.
Yeah, but remember there was multiple-headed even in the G1 series, like the Terracons.
Well, it's not so much that. It wasn't. It's not the fact that it exists. It's the fact that they're trying to almost shoehorn in the fact that these things have been on Earth forever. Yeah. Whereas that kind of takes away from what kind of makes them so great is that I don't want Transformers to have been on Earth for all of mankind.
But we know from the first few movies, remember, didn't they say they were even using it for solar collecting?
And I hated it then too.
Yeah. But I mean, that's not something new they would be adding. That's already been the case.
Yeah, but
remember when they had
let that go. They just let that just kind of die and just focus on essentially this two-sided war between humans and Transformers.
Do you guys think there's any way that the King Arthur element could actually prove
No, I think
Good.
it's just. I would think it would just not really because it'd take too much screen time away from the current storyline, and that it would. I think more than anything else, it's just going to be an establishment shot.
Do you think it'll just be like in the beginning that they'll
Yeah.
kind of like what they did with Revenge of the Fallen when they showed the prehistoric humans?
Yeah, when they're almost like.
You think there's going to be another relic?
Oh,
I mean, it could be that aspect of it.
possibly, yeah, I know that.
I mean, because
They got a lot-
originally, the Ark crashed. Like in the original series, the Ark crashed when it didn't crash right then.
like
when they
4
woke
million
up.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Ark crashed, but they kind of covered that in the third movie, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
that when
the
they
Ark
talked about
was
the
on the
Ark,
moon.
How it was actually on the moon,
Yep.
and Leonard Nimoy's character came in.
That was awesome too that they used Leonard Nimoy, who played Galvatron in the movie. That was awesome.
I thought they were going to do this on Cybertron. Originally, when this was rumored that this movie was going to be incorporate Cybertron more.
I think that was some hope on the fan base because we saw Prime leave to go into space at the end of the fourth one. And to my understanding, the story group is actually talking about stories beyond this fifth one that actually involved potentially entirely out there, including Cybertron. But I don't think we're there yet. I think that might be because they've already got stories for 6 and 7, or like general outlines from the story group, which gives me more hope because again, story first.
Yeah.
Get a good cohesive thing going. But I'm curious how this King Arthur thing might be a positive, and I agree, I'm skeptical on it, but in the fourth one, when all of a sudden Optimus Prime, when he first had a G1 cameo of that original Peterbilt truck, which was cool.
Yeah.
I love how they said in the first
throwback.
one, we can't do the original because then he wouldn't be the same size, and then you do it in the fourth one. I'm like, yeah, he could, but anyway, it was cool, nice little throw-in, but then when he assumes the new vehicle form, all of a sudden, when he transforms, he looks absolutely nothing like a truck and looks like a knight from human mythology. And as soon as I see that, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, where is this coming from? Now, when he gets onto the ship to save the Dinobots, I guess, and you see all the swords, and apparently, and I guess this is not something new that Bay came up with. This is from the Transformers mythology, going back to the Primes, that there were knights and stuff like that. The Prime was one of, so that's cool. And at least getting a little bit of the good music in the fourth one, because we only got a little bit of it. When he's grabbing the sword and you hear that dun dun dun, that was awesome. They need to go back to the original music scores that were so iconic, because starting over just isn't working. But if we're going to add a knight aspect to it and actually having knights from the King Arthur thing, that's the only thing to me that would save a little bit of, because why else would Transformers look like human knights? There has to be, give me some little explanation, even if it's brief. I hope it's good. But I could see how that could be a positive.
Yeah, I mean, as far as for Transformers go, I mean, think about Beast Wars. And that's like pre-human, right?
Yep.
So as far as for the canon of what Transformers is, I mean, it's been on Earth for what, 1 million years at
4
least.
million. If we go by the G1
4
continuity, yeah.
So I guess in regards to it, I just don't know that they need to bring all that in.
Well, they already haven't. This is definitely its own entity.
Yeah. The trailer itself, it was action packed. I did like Sir Anthony Hopkins voiceover on it, stuff like that. Tone was good. The scene I think I like the most, and I keep going back to in my mind, is the stadium scene.
Really?
Where it's the crash in the stadium.
Is that supposed to be from the Battle of Chicago in the third one, or what was that from?
Well, I think we're gonna have to wait and see because that's the one. Yeah.
So you think it's something that happens in this new movie?
Well, it could just be related, and I'm sorry, I'll let you get back to that real quick, man. But yeah, that could just be part of the devastation between these two factions at war. It's just collateral damage. But what were you saying?
No, that's like, those are the kind of images that I want to see. I want to see the collateral damage. Yeah. And how people interact to this war that doesn't really involve them. They're just there becoming victims of somebody else's fight.
Yeah.
So I think they could do something solid around that. The other scene to me that like I keep going back to besides the stadium is if it's Unicron or whatever it is when it's approaching the moon. And it's like, it looks like in the trailer it's going to take a bite out of it. I mean, that keeps that. I'm hoping it's Unicron in some way. I don't know how they're going to incorporate it in there. I mean, if they've already had Galvatron, because according to the movie,
yeah, but again, they're doing it different. That was another thing that was just stupid. By the way, humans created Galvatron, and Megatron is dead. But not really. Fine, whatever, I can forget. But humans created Galvatron, and he's just this truck. I was so ticked by that. But so obviously they're doing something different. But what do you think how do you think they could incorporate Unicron into this? Why? Because I mean, obviously they're doing it completely different. He didn't create any of the new Decepticons.
He may not create Decepticons. He may be the person behind Optimus coming back.
It almost kind of has
why
to be.
Optimus is trying to kill off Bumblebee and all that stuff. I mean, I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Why? That would. Well, don't you think that'd be cool though?
Over the whole time, Bumblebee's my favorite.
Well, Bumblebee's not going to die. They've already announced they're doing Bumblebee spin-off films. So we know he's not going to die. But man, if that is the case, and that would actually play into what you were saying, because if it's Unicron that creates or changes Prime, the Dark Energon, because Unicron's the source of Dark Energon.
I did not know that.
Oh, dude, you've got to watch Transformers Prime. As good as G1 was, it does not hold up today when we watch it now. That was great because we were kids and it was awesome, and you still had some elements like the original John Wayne-ish Optimus Prime.
And there's some cringeworthy.
And they were making Electron from hydroelectric dams.
Yeah, exactly. And but Transformers Prime has a lot of the same things that made Batman the Animated Series and Justice League great. It's a little bit edgier. I don't know if I'm going to call it darker, but it's for not just for kids, but sometimes even more specifically for the teenage to adult audience. I think Transformers Prime is the best incarnation series that they have done for Transformers that encompasses every aspect of it. And that was my favorite one by far.
Yeah.
You think so?
Except for Miko.
Yeah, she was but they got to have the kitty element in there somewhere. She was tolerable too.
They're even going to have it in this movie too. I got like an 8-year-old girl that says, "I want to fight." No, you don't.
Yeah.
You really don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get stepped on?
Yeah.
No, I guess what I'm wondering, who is that robot that she's reaching out for? Do you guys have any idea who that is?
The
one with the yellow bands?
My original impression was that it was just like a stripped down Bumblebee, but I don't think
so.
That
it looked way different from the shoulders and everything like that. I don't think so.
So yeah, it
looked
could
more
be
like Ironhide. I mean, in the far the build.
Yeah.
But Ironhide's already gone.
Yep.
That, and it's hard to even assume that we would guess who it is by color because Bay changes them all over the place. I mean, I like what he did with who's the bounty hunter from the fourth one with the hook. What was his name? The guy that was hunting Prime.
Oh.
His face turns into the big gun. Oh my god. I don't know. Well, whatever it was, I love what they did with him. He was cool as hell. Looked like almost a Navy SEAL. But I heard that they're going to change Hot Rod's colors on this one, and if it's not going to, at least I guess he's in there. And if we get Unicron and we get Hot Rod and some of these stories and elements end up working, I don't know. Who knows? But I guess the last question I'll ask you guys is, did this trailer make you more pumped or less pumped to see the movie?
I'd say it teeters more on the side of wanting to see it.
Yeah.
Again,
I'd probably more so than I was even a few days ago.
And again, it's just because of like these elements that we've been talking about or what they introduced. There was some stuff in there that kind of turned me off too, but I think more than less.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be honest. We're all going to see this.
Yeah.
But I was definitely, after seeing this, now that I think about it, I'm definitely more excited. I'm jacked hopeful. Out of my mind, but I'm more excited. What about you?
I'm hopeful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, after seeing this, I mean, I'm hoping it can live up or redeem the last couple of movies for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You didn't think the third one was good?
I didn't like the third one at all, really.
Really?
I thought the second one, I know the writing was horrible and crap in the second one.
It was still fun and cool, though.
But it was still cool, yeah. I mean, as a kid, like my demographic, I loved the SR-71 Blackbird. So to bring that in some way, even though in the comic, or even though in the cartoon he was not an SR-71 Blackbird, he crashed in the North Pole, they found him, right? Mm-hmm. But at least to bring that in kind of captured my demographic. At the time, I was, 30? I actually remember talking to you about this before they launched the first one, when they announced they were making a Transformers movie, and you told me it was going to be live action.
Yep.
And I almost laughed in your face because I'm like, how are they going to do that?
Yeah.
Because at the time, nobody had made a movie like that. There'd been no robot movies. So I was kind of at that point where it was like, I'm like, that movie's going to suck. And it was actually really good. The first one was, anyway. I mean, and they're not bringing Sam Witwicky back, but I think I went through the cast thing on IMDb, and are they bringing Sector 7 back for this?
We don't know that. I don't think so, but here's what, I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot that point. Here's some stuff I'm excited for. They brought Josh Duhamel back.
Yeah.
He was definitely one of the strong points from the original first couple. I didn't think Shia LaBeouf was bad. I wasn't a big
thought he
fan.
was
I didn't
good.
think it was bad. Compared to the actors that we had in the fourth one, other than Mark Wahlberg, they could have lost all of them. And it seems like that's basically what they've done, because the only one returning from the fourth one, to my understanding, is Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. But having Josh Duhamel back, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got Tyrese Gibson back too.
Yeah. Kind of round out the squad.
What T.J. Miller, I thought, was like he was the comic relief in that fourth movie. He made it tolerable when Mark Wahlberg's character, what's his name, Yeager, was fumbling
Cade
all over
Yeager.
himself. When he was just being, a loser. I was like, really? And I guess that's what I didn't like. I mean, I didn't like how it started out. I mean, it's like, here's this guy, he's losing his farm. He's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, mind-wise and location-wise.
Yeah.
And then you've brought it up before. His daughter's hot, and her boyfriend is somehow Australian, and a race car driver.
And it was either a poorly written part or poorly acted part. He was just a tool that you never liked the boyfriend.
Well,
and
let's be fair. It could have been either or both.
Yeah, I mean, by the time
Here's
it gets
Chris Helmsworth, but we can't afford Chris Helmsworth, so you get another Australian.
Yeah,
Here's
that's cool.
Here's Gary.
Gary the Australian.
Well, I tell you what. Why don't we wrap up with this? What is, if you could have, of all your hopes and dreams, what do you hope? What's one thing that you hope that we do get out of this movie?
I really want to see Hot Rod,
Yeah.
Well, we know we're getting that.
but I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your hope
Nobody's
is just
cool.
to see the damn movie and see how it works. Well, what about you?
Maybe Hot Rod can kill Optimus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did hear rumors that they were also going to incorporate Blur into the movie. I know he was one of my G2 guys kind of growing up, so I'd like to see him make an appearance.
God, I hope they would get John Moshida to play his voice then. Is he still alive?
I have no idea.
Wouldn't that be cool, though? I mean, why not? If he is, and he could still do it. If you're going to have Blur, how can you have Blur and not have that guy's voice do it? It just would be awesome.
Yeah. How about you?
I mean, I could take I just really hope that the
trash
story's
box.
good. But based on what we think that we know, that if this is Unicron attacking the planets, I hope that it is this big arc with a dark energon type of thing that leads to more stuff that hopefully brings it back to the core elements that we liked about it. So I'd say the dark energon stuff.
All right.
Yeah, sound good?
Yeah.
You guys got anything else?
No.
Transformers.
We'll wait. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be 100 more trailers out there.
Yeah.
Your trickle's going to become just a pouring faucet of water.
They've been pretty good about Transformers about not giving out too much with their trailers, though. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, I mean, you remember the original when there was just
They barely
it was-
even showed a transformation
it was
on
like,
the commercials.
Yeah, it was just like the Mars rover,
Yeah.
and all you just see is just like a half-second shot of Starscream just beating the shit out of it.
And Bay even said that. He goes, don't expect to see these big, full-fledged transformations. That's why I want you to go to the movie. And I like that since he's the one making the trailers, I think he's going to have a lot more restraint on that type of stuff, too. But here's fingers crossed. Let's hope so. Sound good? Anything
All
else,
right.
guys?
That's it.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Did this trailer get you excited to see Transformers The Last Night? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget, you can watch regular episodes of Fractured Focus as we post a topic of the show each day of the week, Monday through Thursday, and attempt to entertain you with our semi-witty banter and our incessant rambling. Until the next trailer, I don't know, good night.
Good night.
We're finishing strong.
That concludes our broadcast today.
Woo!